I agree with you. During the Biden administration, I called for people looking at Epstein files. Merrick Garland dropped the ball, as did Attorney General Bill Barr, as did Alex Acosta, a whole string of failures, but you are in charge. You have the power to change things, to hold these men accountable, and you're doing the opposite. You're protecting them. So I want to move on to another man.
Can I answer
Donald
that,
Trump.
though?
I want to move on to another
question. Can I answer your question about protecting
You answered the question.
You're saying no. I love this.
I want to discuss another man, Donald Trump, who is all over the Epstein files, like former Prince. Here's a video.
I have a UC.
Ms. Crockett from Texas is recognized for UC.
Thank you so much. Donald Trump's approval rating implodes on his strongest issue. This is from Newsweek today. It says 40% of people approve of Trump's handling of immigration and border security, while 60% disapprove.
Without objection,
that is a
admitted.
net drop
Now I recognize the gentleman
20.
from California, Mr. Lieu.
Thank you, Attorney General Bondi, for being here today. I'm going to show you two photos.
Thank you.
I'm going to show you two photos of former Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein. Under the law Congress passed, you were allowed to redact photos to protect the victims of Epstein's sex trafficking operation. You redacted the photos of this victim's face because you were following the congressional law. Is that correct?
I'm sorry that we redacted the victim's
Because you were
face?
following the congressional law, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You have now established that please put the photos back up, that we are looking at a sex trafficking victim. Under the Federal Victims Trafficking Protection Act, not only is Jeffrey Epstein guilty, but anyone who patronizes Epstein's sex operation is also guilty of a crime. That's why I find it absolutely despicable that you sought to protect Epstein's clients, like former Prince Andrew. Last July, you closed the case on Epstein's abusers. The July 2025 memo from your Department of Justice stated, quote, "We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties." These two photos, please put the photos back up. These two photos staring you in the face are evidence of a crime and more than enough evidence to predicate an investigation against former Prince Andrew. So I ask you, Attorney General Pam Bondi, why did you shut down this investigation last July, and why have you not prosecuted former Prince Andrew?
I don't believe you asked Merrick Garland these questions when he was Attorney General and set before
I agree with you.
You twice.
I'm reclaiming my time.
Never
I agree with
mentioned
you. I agree with you. During the Biden administration, I called for people looking at Epstein files. Merrick Garland dropped the ball, as did Attorney General Bill Barr, as did Alex Acosta, a whole string of failures, but you are in charge. You have the power to change things, to hold these men accountable, and you're doing the opposite. You're protecting them. So I want to move on to another man.
Can I answer
Donald
that,
Trump.
though?
I want to move on to another
Can I
question.
answer your question about protecting
You
Prince
answered the
Andrew?
question.
You're saying no. I love this.
I want to discuss another man, Donald Trump, who is all over the Epstein files, like former Prince. Here's a video. Like former Prince Andrew, Donald Trump attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know, were there any underage girls at that party or at any party that Trump attended with Jeffrey Epstein?
This is so ridiculous, and that they are trying to deflect from all the great things Donald Trump has done. There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that. This has been the most transparent presidency. He's the one that asked that those files
I'm reclaiming my time.
be
I got your
released.
answer. You said there's no evidence.
Trump asked
Mr. Chairman, please stop the clock.
to sign the legislation This is,
Time,
this
I'd like
is
to take my
ridiculous.
time belongs to the gentleman from California.
Okay. I'm going to put up another document from a witness who called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center because I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein file.
Don't you ever accuse me of a crime.
I believe you just lied under oath, and this is all on videotape. You said there's no evidence of a crime. I'm showing you, here is a witness statement who called into the FBI's Threat Operations Center. He drove Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry, he was gonna stop the limo and hurt Donald Trump. And he met a girl who said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She later had her head blown off, and officers at the scene said that could not have been suicide. No one at the Department of Justice interviewed this witness. You need to interview this witness immediately. Epstein should rot in hell, so should the men who patronized his operation. And as we say here today, there are over 1,000 sex trafficking victims, and you have not held a single man accountable. Shame on you. If you had any decency, you would resign right after this hearing
The
concludes.
gentleman has expired.
May I respond?
Yeah, I don't know how you respond. No one can.
I
Well,
did not
can
ask a
respond,
question,
but
Mr.
He
Head.
doesn't
You're
want
allowed
to talk
to.
about
I did
the
not ask a
horrific
question.
crime in California. He does not want to talk about
I did not ask a
crime
question.
in his state.
She can't
Madam
just
Attorney
ad-lib
General.
stuff.
Going
I
after
did not ask a
Donald Trump.
question.
Meeting will be in order. The gentleman has yielded back his time. I think our next witness will be.
All right, folks, I just watched that exchange, and wow, you can feel the political theater from a mile away. Before we get into this, welcome back to Voice of Truth. If you're tired of the mainstream spin, if you believe in accountability across the board, and if you want straight talk from a patriotic perspective, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video, drop a comment below, and let me know what you think after you hear this breakdown. Your engagement is what keeps this channel going, and we're not backing down from tough conversations. So let's talk about what we just saw. You've got Representative Ted Lieu going after Attorney General Pam Bondi in what was supposed to be a serious oversight hearing, and instead it turned into a full-blown political spectacle. The topic? Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew, and of course, they had to bring President Donald Trump into it. Now, let me be clear right off the bat. Jeffrey Epstein was a monster. Period. Anyone involved in trafficking minors, anyone exploiting vulnerable girls, deserves the harshest punishment under the law. No Republican, no Democrat, no billionaire, no royal, no politician should be above justice. If you committed a crime, you answer for it. That's the conservative position. Law and order. Accountability. But what we saw here wasn't about law and order. It was about political grandstanding. Lieu shows redacted photos of Prince Andrew and Epstein. Bondi confirms the redactions were to protect victims, which is required by law. That's not controversial. That's basic victim protection. But then Lieu tries to argue that the mere existence of photos is enough to predicate an investigation. Here's the problem. Being in a photo with someone, even someone later exposed as a criminal, is not automatically evidence of a crime. If that were the standard, half of Washington, Hollywood, and Wall Street would have been arrested years ago. We need evidence. We need testimony that holds up in court. We need something more than guilt by association. Then comes the pivot, and you knew it was coming. Donald Trump. They can't help themselves. Every road somehow leads back to Trump. Lieu asks whether there were underage girls at parties Trump attended with Epstein. Bondi responds there is no evidence Trump committed a crime. And that's the key word, evidence. Not rumors. Not viral clips. Not political insinuations. Evidence. 4 years now, Trump has been investigated by Democrats, by special counsels, by hostile prosecutors, by congressional committees. They've combed through tax returns, business records, phone calls, everything. If there were prosecutable evidence tying him to Epstein's crimes, don't you think we would have seen charges by now? Especially under administrations that were openly hostile toward him. Instead, what we get is this pattern. Take a horrific situation, invoke the victims, and then try to attach Trump's name to it for maximum political damage. That doesn't help the victims. That doesn't bring justice. That just weaponizes tragedy for political gain. And let's also address something important here. Lieu acknowledged failures by previous attorneys general, Merrick Garland, Bill Barr, Alex Acosta. He's right about one thing. There's been a systemic failure to bring full transparency to the Epstein case. The American people want answers. Conservatives want answers. We don't defend pedophiles. We don't protect traffickers. But what we won't accept is selective outrage. Where was this same energy when powerful Democrats were named in connection to Epstein's social circle? Where was the nonstop media outrage then? Why does every hearing somehow turn into but Trump? If there is credible evidence against anyone, it should be investigated thoroughly and lawfully. That includes Prince Andrew. That includes any Republican. That includes any Democrat. The standard must be equal. What I saw in that exchange was Bondi refusing to accept the premise that accusation equals proof. And that's important, because in this country, we don't convict people based on political pressure or viral sound bites. We convict based on evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. The moment Lieu accused her of lying under oath, you could see the temperature in the room change. That's a serious allegation. And tossing it around in a heated exchange, without presenting verified, adjudicated findings, only adds more chaos to an already explosive issue. Here's my take as a right-wing patriot. We believe in justice. Real justice. Not performative justice. Not cable news justice. If there are witnesses who haven't been interviewed, they should be. If there are files that can legally be released without harming victims, release them. Transparency builds trust. But what we cannot allow is the constant political exploitation of crimes against children to score partisan points. That dishonors the victims more than anything. And let's be honest, this hearing felt less like a search for truth and more like a campaign clip being manufactured in real time. That's not oversight. That's optics. President Trump has been one of the most investigated public figures in American history. If there were credible, prosecutable evidence tying him to Epstein's criminal enterprise, we would have seen indictments. Instead, what we see are recycled headlines and insinuations. The American people are tired of it. We want the truth about Epstein. We want accountability for anyone who broke the law. But we also want fairness. We want due process. We want equal standards, not one rule for Republicans and another for Democrats. And here's the bigger issue. When everything becomes a political weapon, real justice gets harder to achieve. The more hearings turn into shouting matches, the more the public loses confidence in the institutions that are supposed to protect us. As patriots, we stand for law and order. We stand for victims. We stand for equal justice under the law. But we also stand against smear campaigns and guilt by association. If you watched that exchange and felt like it was more about attacking Trump than protecting victims, you're not alone. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this was about accountability, or was it political theater? Do you believe the Epstein case has been handled properly over the years? Let's have a real discussion. If you value honest breakdowns like this, make sure you're subscribed to Voice of Truth. Hit that like button, share this video, and help us cut through the noise. Because the truth still matters. And we're not afraid to say it.